Welcome to episode 14 of StripJourney. My name is Morana. I'm coming to you from Copenhagen, Denmark. And I'm always really excited when I can also go out of Europe. So today we're going back to USA and I have with me Tanya. Welcome, Tanya.
Hi everyone, my name is Tanya and I live in New Jersey. I represent Frame Up Style.
Nice. So how long have you been dancing, Tanya?
I've been dancing for about 13 years by now, but I've been
Oh,
in
wow.
high heels for about 10 years.
Nice. And how about frame up?
Frame Up, yes, basically my high heel journey began with Frame Up. So yes, about 10 years of Frame Up.
Nice. Wow, that's a long time. So how is it going now with teaching?
So right now I live in New Jersey. I give classes in New York and New Jersey. Of course, I love it. I love my job. I truly enjoy giving classes. This is my biggest passion. But I have to admit, frame up is a big trend in Russia, although no one really knows about it in America. So that's why for me it's a bit challenging because this is a new style for everybody and people are still looking at it, thinking, so this is something new that people have to get to know and practice.
Yeah, I think in Europe, the word frame up or strip is kind of sticking a bit better. But in US, I mean, same what I talked with Elena, she sometimes prefers to use the word floor work.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I also use that word because it's the most understandable for American people. So in Russia, we call it frame up. Here in America, most commonly used word is flow work. Also, people sometimes use liquid motion, but
Mm.
for me, this is something more old-fashioned about like slow and flowy strip dance. For me, it's like a bit different style. So yes, I would say flow work is mostly used here.
All right. So you said it's not well known. So how many students do you get? How many classes?
Well, for now, usually I have maybe around 7 or 8 people in my classes. These are not the same people, so they they
See.
can be different. But I can see that more and more people are getting curious about the style. People see that it's something new, something different, something unique because floor frame up it combines a lot of elements from other styles, and it also gives you, a lot of freedom to express yourself just dancing on the floor.
When I think New York, I think there are so many dance schools there. So there should be like a ton of dancers who are curious about trying new things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, dancing in general is very well developed in New York, but honestly, well, my personal opinion, it's more about urban styles, hip hop, street styles. High heels are very popular. And what I can see, a lot of high heel dancers, they introduce more and more floor work into their fit. So it's really all becoming all about the floor. But still something new like this, especially when no one ever danced it before here in New York. That's why people are a little bit careful about it. But I really hope that once people get acquainted with the style, that they will see the beauty of it.
So how long have you been teaching in New York now?
So in New York for now, I have been teaching for the last year. I have to confess, I had a break from teaching. But when I was, I was still doing physical exercise. I was still dancing. I started as a student in the pole. So I'm also acquainted with the pole now. So I was more trying to develop myself. I didn't really teach for a period of time, but for the last year, I have had regular classes.
Nice. And you said it's different compared to Russia. What's the difference? Is it the level?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The level is different. A lot of students are different. I mean, just in general, people's mentality.
Mm.
Somehow, well, since Frame Up was born in Russia, I think it's a natural thing that it's more developed in Russia. So, because let's say what I see now, people doing in Russia, some crazy acrobatic, some insane tricks and jumps. I'm like, wow, like, like there is a long way to go for America. But I'm very inspired. I see a lot of strong students here. I see people who are not afraid to try, and this is what inspires me. To do more, to do better.
Nice. How can people find you? How can people find your classes?
I usually post all the information on my Instagram. I always has like a pinned post about my current classes. So I have a regular group in New Jersey. I also do projects like special courses in Manhattan, which are usually 1 month long, and at the end we shoot a nice video. I also have drop-in classes in Manhattan, so for people who want to join just for 1 or 2 times and try it out. So I have all the possible variations you would like to try.
So how do people react to this when you have like a project where they have to go through the choreo and repeat and they're getting kind of the same material and then shoot a video at the end? How did people react to that?
I would say here people like repeating. One time for them, definitely not enough. Usually, when we learn a choreo, let's say mm, choreographies can be different. They can be different with a level, with their duration. So sometimes one choreo is for 2 classes. Sometimes one choreo is for 4 classes. So and usually when we
Yes,
oh,
pets.
I'm
Yes.
sorry about this.
I always
Somebody
demand to
decided
see
to
the
join
pets.
us. Sorry, he just jumped on my room.
Cute.
So, yeah, going back to the question, I would say, from my opinion, people in America love repeating because they like to practice and smooth it out, to dance it the perfect way. Because, when we just learn the choreography once, it's not yet in our muscles. There is an expression you have to sleep with a choreography so that next time you can smooth it out so that you can actually dance without thinking about it, like your body is dancing for you.
What are your plans next? Are you planning to have a team to do competitions or something to like spread the knowledge of the style somehow?
Wow, that would be that would be something I dream about. But honestly, most of all, my biggest goal, I just want to show women how beautiful they are. I believe every single woman is strong and beautiful and sexy and feminine. Pretty often, women, get stuck in the routine, work and family, running errands. And for me, dancing is the way to show every woman how beautiful they are. So I honestly, for me, it's not about competitions. It's not about getting stronger, growing with a level. It's for me, it's more about the art itself. It's about the art. It's about enjoying the dancing. It's about seeing yourself in the mirror and feeling, feminine and sexy. This is what I like, and this is my biggest goal. But in general, as for the projects that I would be interested in, most of all, I would like to give master classes in other cities. I would like other cities also to get acquainted with the dance style, to see what it is like. From what I can see now, there is not a big culture of competition in America. So it is just what I personally observed. Because in Russia, for example, that would be like 10 championships, like different competitions throughout the year, big ones, small ones. Also, you can always go to local ones. But in America, somehow that's not so popular. For example, I don't know a single teacher who would have their own team. Like in Russia, this is a common thing. In America, nobody really has a team. So I would say for me, it would be like a next step. I have some really strong students. And if, for example, we find like a nice competition to go to, I think in like half a year or a year, maybe that would be an amazing thing, like to create something for a competition and just to show America what Prima style is about. I would love that.
That's really cool because you've done competing yourself when you were in Russia, right?
Oh
With
yeah,
the team.
absolutely. Many times as a team member, as a solo performer. So I really really enjoy it.
What advice would you give to people who are interested in learning the style?
I would say this is an advice for any beginner. It doesn't really matter which style you're just starting, but the main thing, never give up. Do it for yourself. Do it to be the better version of yourself. Do it because it makes you feel good. I would say don't compare yourself with others because there will always be somebody, somebody who is stronger, somebody who is a better performer, somebody who is a better actor. who is more flexible, So for me, dancing, it's beautiful as an art by itself. You don't really have to compete with anyone. It's just about you by yourself and be focused on yourself. Don't be scared about anything. Me personally, I started dancing pretty late. I was 21. So usually at 21, people are, already professional
Done.
dancers. This is the time when they start to teach. And I was just doing my first steps. And as everybody else, I went all the way from zero to where I am now. So, and I always, there was a long period of time when I was persuading myself that, oh, you can never reach that. Or like, why would you try? You're too old anyway. So I just want to say to everyone who is still doubting about their age, their physical form, or anything, it's not about those things. It's about, you know, it's about dancing because you love it.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. I also started even later. And what's sometimes intimidating with frame up and when I see other people is they see it, they think like, wow, this is cool. I want to do this. Then they come to class and like, oh my God, this is hard.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that. And this is absolutely normal thing. Like my very first frame up class was super hard for me. So, and you actually made a very good point. A lot of people, they see how it looks like, they come to the class, but they get scared because it's tough. People get scared because they feel that they're the worst in the class. But I want to assure everybody this is so normal, this is natural because dancing, it is a skill. If we all could dance from just from our birth, then it wouldn't be a skill. Like as any skill, it requires time and effort and energy. So please don't be afraid of the challenge. And what is important, the harder it is for you in the class, the more profits you get from the class. So you get more knowledge, you're getting more skills if it is hard for you.
So how do people react to like basically changing to strip shoes? Because I'm guessing in America it's even more stigmatized than in Europe.
Yeah, well, I would say what I get a lot, people who come to the class for the first time, I have a lot of questions like, can I just come with my socks? Can I just come with my sneakers? And I always say yes, and pretty often people would also come with shoes, but not the tweezer shoes, not the pole dance shoes, but smaller, no platform, small heel. But once they try it for one or two classes, usually everybody buys pole shoes.
What other differences do you see from how it's going to teaching in New York compared to how it was like in Russia?
As I mentioned, the style is not yet developed in here. So basically, I have to start from zero. For example, let's say in Russia, if I would come to the class and people were already mentally prepared that there will be some handstands, like shoulder stands, like tricks and jumps, here people are not prepared for that yet. So I usually try to go with what people are looking for because sometimes people just want to relax afterward. And sometimes people don't want the crazy tricks. So here I would say we it's more like we start from the zero. So we slowly learn. So everything that was normal in Russia here is something here is something crazy that people never tried. So, but I can see how girls are excited about learning new things, and this is what inspires me. I want them to enjoy it, so I never put too much pressure. I don't have a goal, to learn all the tricks in the world. So for me, my main goal is for them to really enjoy them.
And we talk about competitions, but how about performances? Have you done any performances in the US?
The only time that we performed, when I used to teach in the dance school in Manhattan, we had like a concert for the dance school. So all the pupils of the dance school we were performing on the stage. It was mostly for dancers themselves and for their friends, so that they could feel the stage,
Yeah.
they could feel in the middle of attention. And this is actually this is a good step for the competition because a lot of people who get through a championship for the first time, they get lost on the stage. Like it's overwhelming to see so many people all the bright lights shining on you, like the stage is never the same as it is in the dance school. So there, you're wearing a costume. It's also not always a very comfortable costume. So a lot of little things. Yeah. So that one performance was really nice. I was performing in a duet with Tanya, who is a dance teacher. She teaches pole, but for her, floor work was easy to do because she's in general physically very strong and she does the pole, so she already knows everything. So yeah, we were dancing one of my choreographies.
Nice. And speaking of your choreographies, can we talk a little bit about your style? How would you describe your style?
Well, I would say the most important word for me is diversity. I like very different music, and also for my dance style, I use different music. I use Latin, I use rock and metal, I use pop music. It also can be some chill and lounge song. So I don't really like it when people stay too long in just like one certain category, like a comfort zone. Like so for me, it's all about the diversity. I think dancing should be different, and for me, it is a chance, to try on a different character every time. So my biggest inspiration in general is music. So, when I hear the music, the first thing, like I see a picture, I see a character in my head. So, and those songs, they're not always positive songs. Sometimes it's a song about breakup or suffering. Sometimes it's about love. Sometimes it's about other topics. It can be so and so different. So yes, going back to your question, I would say what's important for me about my style is being different every time, trying something new, trying something different, new characters, new locations, new
Mhm.
costumes. That's what I
Yeah.
love.
How about making choreos? How do you go around with that?
I would say usually everything depends on the song. So I never have like a ready choreography, which one I then fit in the song. First, I hear the song, and the main factor for me is my body reaction. If I hear a song and my body wants to dance with it, this is for me a sign. I'm like, yes, I want to make a choreography with this song. So, and usually I go with the mood of the song. For example,
Mm.
there are some like Latin songs that are aggressive, and I will do like some sharp moves and, something sharp and strong. Or for example, if it's a romantic love song, I'll do more waves and more lowy moves. So you usually what kind of mood the song creates, that kind of choreography I'm gonna.
Nice. I kind of have a set of questions asked everybody always, every time. So one of the first one is, do you prefer boots or sandals?
Oh, that's a nice one. I would say also depends because I would say some songs are very feminine. You don't even want to wear boots in there. Like you want to be,
Mm.
as feminine as you can. That's when I would choose sandals. But I would say more often I would choose boots just because with boots I feel that my toes are more safe. I can get more crazy with my jump. So my when my toes are protected, I feel safer. So I would say in the majority of cases I would choose boots.
Nice. And kind of who is your frame up icon or inspiration?
Okay, my inspiration from all the choreographers, one of my biggest inspirations is Michnun Gyazar. If you probably heard about him, he's
Mhm.
originally from Germany, but he travels all around the world. So what I love him for is that he has no rules, no rules for his choreographies. And if you see his choreos, they're all crazy. They're just insane. He's not limited with any frames. He does so many different things. And as far as I know, I don't think he knows any crazy acrobatics. He doesn't have any splits. He's not super flexible. But the way he performs, his energy, when he's on the stage alone, he will feel the whole stage just with his energy. If I have to choose from frame up, dance teachers, of course, Elena, but Elena was already a guest on your podcast. So if I would have to name somebody new, I would say Lisa Sergeyeva. I'm sure you heard about her. I love her for also her energy. She is not just an amazing dance teacher, she's also a great actress because for me, when you perform on the stage, you really have an actor because you have to be inside your character. So when these both things are united, the dance and your character, so that you actor. So for me, this is when the magic happens because the audience, they have to believe the story that you're saying. So Lisa, she's amazing because she also, I think, she goes out of the general frame. So she goes out of the comfort zone. All her moves, they are, interesting and unusual. So she really brings something creative to the
Mm.
dance.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I like that also she's been in this kind of for so long and she still keeps on bringing new stuff all the time. So
Oh
it's always
yes,
nice to
yes,
see.
absolutely.
Yeah. So what's a favorite project or a choreo that you have joined? So that's not your own. You've been a part of.
I think I like just the combination and the diversity of different styles,
Mm.
or I really enjoy masterclasses from different choreographers in one day. For example, when you have like
Uh,
6 hours of dance classes and like each hour you have a new choreography. And after a day like this is where when I feel the most inspired because you
mm.
get so much information, you see so many new moves. But if I was to say my favorite dance project that I took part in, I think I would say the performance by Agni
Mhm.
for an art house festival that was called The Keys. I would name this one because this was the first time I would say we would go way out of the comfort zone, way out of our category because it is The Keys. It is actually a competition for art house dancing. So
Mm.
before that, we would compete in a high heels category. Then we would, go higher and we would compete in general category as a best dance show. But when we went to the keys, that was really something, unique and unusual. We were not anymore just a high heels team. So we were, you know, like the team that can be strong and compete in any category.
That sounds like a fun experience. And how about you? How about what's your favorite choreo that you have made?
My favorite choreo, well, I have so many from all the years that I danced frame up. I think if I was to choose for my recent one, I think it would be the choreo by X Habit because when I hear the music that I love, for me it's more about the inside feeling. So when I was creating that choreo, I was really going with my inside feeling. I was trying to not to think about what students can do or not do. I was not trying to think about which move is logical here or not logical. I just went with how my body wants to move with the music. So yeah, I would say this one is my favorite from recent times.
Nice. And how would you describe frame up in one word?
Beauty,
Nice.
definitely beauty.
Do you have any like memorable moments from you as a dance teacher?
Memorable moments. I don't think I can name a one single memorable moment because all of them are different and memorable in their own way. I definitely remember my very first time on the stage. It was not a competition, it was just a showcase for the dance. I definitely remember my very first competition that was Project 818. And it was my first competition and also was the first time for me as the team member when Agni took the first place. And it was so overwhelming. just because my first competition and first place already. So I definitely remember that one. I remember my first time performing solo because I was so scared. I can't even tell you. I was so nervous. And I remember it very well because when I came to that, it was not a big competition, it was a local one. When I came in there, I saw there were some dancers who were definitely stronger than me. So, I knew them as dancers, as performers, as teachers, and I'm like, oh my God, no way I can win this when they're here. But I thought like, okay, I'll just go and do my best. And for me it was shocking, but I actually took the first place. And
Nice.
this is why I remember that day, because for me it was a big sign that it doesn't really matter how skilled you are with your dancing, or it doesn't really matter what level you have. The most important thing is just go there and be the best of yourself. Never put yourself down, never think of yourself less than you are just because somebody is a better dancer. We all, in any competition, in any performance, we all have a chance. So it's not about like crazy tricks or crazy splits. It's about how you feel the dance. Yeah.
Mm,
So,
mm.
and also, I would say I'm pretty sentimental. I have a lot of sweet moments with my students. I would say this is my main drive and my main inspiration when I hear something like when I hear the feedback from my students, when they like my art, when they like what I do, when they like, the creative projects that I make, the ideas that I give them. So, for example, that was back in Russia, but once a student of mine, so he baked cookies in the shape of pole shoes.
Nice.
And that was the sweetest gift I ever had in my life, I think.
That's such a
So
great idea.
yeah, so these are the moments that I remember, and these are the moments that keep me going.
And it fits in what you said before, like don't compare yourself to others, do it for yourself and do it for your own artistry as well. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that's yeah, I would say that's my main idea, because there would always be a stronger dancer than anyone. So just be yourself, just do it for yourself.
Yeah. And is there a fun fact about you that your students might not know that you want to share?
I think I shared it on Instagram, and I don't know how fun it is, but I actually came to dancing because I was trying to lose weight. So I never really had interest in dancing. It was more about keeping fit, and it all actually started with America, believe it or not. So
Oh,
as a student, I went to America for a work and travel program. It's a summer program for students. And after spending a summer in America, I gained maybe like 15 pounds, or even more than that. I was scared. So the first thing I did, I went to the gym. So, and there in the gym, there were also like group dance classes. So when I was like tired of lifting weights, I thought like, okay, let me try out the dance classes just as a way of losing some weight. But once I started it, and once I was doing more and more of it, I just realized that I can't stay without dancing anymore. So, for me, I started to feel confident. I started to feel beautiful. I started to like myself.
yeah. That's a great connection to that. Do you have do you have any messages for people listening to the podcast?
Well, let me see. My main message would be, don't be scared of anything. It's normal to start from zero level. Don't be afraid of challenges. Challenges are good. This is what makes us develop more. And yes, the main idea that I have, please don't compare yourself to other dancers. Just be the best version of yourself. Because I truly believe any dance style is good for women, is good for men. For me, I choose frame up because this is where I feel, beautiful and confident about myself. So, but whichever dance style you choose, just be yourself. Just do it not to compete with someone, but do it for you to love yourself and enjoy dance.
Hmm. Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to talk about that I haven't asked you?
I just wanted to mention for all the dancers, don't be shy to try a new style. For example, if you're dancing in a certain style, let's say if you're dancing frame up, it doesn't mean that you don't need hip hop. Like the more dance styles you try, the more developed you are as a dancer in general. You can like pick certain moves or certain combinations from other styles, and from any style you do, it's only gonna make you more professional in your main style. Another fun fact about me, I started dancing flame up by accident. When I just started dancing, I was doing mostly jazz funk and also a little bit of Vogue, a little bit of hip hop, but I never really danced on high heels. And then it was time when I had to move from my native city to Moscow, the capital. So while I was moving, of course, I was leaving my dance school. And when I was leaving, I asked my jazz funk dance teacher, "Oh, can you advise me someone from teachers in Moscow? Like, do you like anyone?" And she said, "If you want to try high heels, go try a class with Nastya Yurastova." So that was
Mm.
actually, I would say that was like a random thing that completely determined my whole next dance journey. So yeah, this
Nice.
is how it happened. So just as a conclusion, I would like to say a huge, huge thank you for inviting me to your podcast.
Oh,
It's really an honor for me to be a guest on your podcast. What you're creating is so unique, and nobody has ever done this before. This is also amazing because you can see the global picture. You can see people who represent frame up and high heels all around the world. And this is so great, in the world of modern technologies, we can actually see some dance trends, not just on the level of one country, but in the whole world. So I think your idea is just amazing, and I'm very grateful to be a part of it. Thank you so much.
no, thank you. And I actually, when I look at my stats, I have a lot of people listening in US. So I also kind of want to expand also on the teachers and things. And I hope there is opportunities to do workshops. And as you said, I also love when it's this big like dance events where you get to learn and do a different thing. And every hour you do a different style or a different mood. So I
Mhm.
hope there's a chance that like Frame Up gets invited to one of these when it's happening in US and stuff. I know bigger like the whole camp idea is also again more alive in Europe than in US, but I mean
Yeah,
it will be
I
really
agree.
cool.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That would be amazing. I hope Prima style continues to develop and I hope it grows. Who knows, maybe someday we will have like a frame up championship here. But
Yeah. Yeah,
there is a
that'll be
long way to
exciting.
go, but I hope so.
Thank you for joining me. And I hope we'll hear a lot more about Frame Up in New York soon. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you're going to do next. Thank you.
Thank you so much.